What's on YouTube? It's PTT coming at you with another Division video, and today guys we are going to be covering some of the new information that came out of today's state of the game. Now I've decided to break this down into two parts guys. One of the videos will be talking about all the new things coming in respects of things like new weapons and a few other nice surprises. This video, however, I want to concentrate on everything getting a nerf. Not only are we going to talk about them, but I kind of want to go over my opinions on them and hopefully get some comments from you guys down below letting me know what you guys think as well. So, guys, if you like the video, don't forget to smash that thumbs up. It does help me a great deal. Let me know any comments you've got down below. Let's jump straight into it, guys, with something we know has been coming for a while then, and that is the weapon changes, okay? In specific, confirmed today, a nerf to the AUG, the Vector, and the M1A. Now, we'll start off with the M1A because I think that kind of takes the least amount of nerfing out of everything we've seen from the weapon so far. Basically, guys, you know how every weapon has a maximum reticle spread, okay? So you hold the trigger down, or obviously in the likes of the M1A, you keep spamming the trigger. Eventually, your reticle will get so big, but it will stop getting bigger, okay? They are changing that. They are increasing the reticle bloom the more you spam the trigger, okay? Now, this isn't a bad thing to say that it is a marksman rifle, and the whole idea of just spamming the trigger isn't really what the weapon was designed for, so I'm not too bothered about this change. If anything, it means the people that are going to be using an M1A actually need to be a little bit more skilled at using it effectively. So, yeah, I'm not too fussed about that. I don't know what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comment section down below. The AUG and the Vector nerf, however, have me a little bit baffled, okay? So, the AUG is taking a 10% damage nerf. Now, this I can understand, okay? The AUG is, or at least the power version is a 9mm version of the AUG, right? The MP5 is also a 9mm. However, if you look at the damage output of the AUG over the MP5, then the damage is a massive amount to say that they're both the same caliber weapons. Now, you guys have heard me talk about caliber in a previous video to some extent, and I never really understood why the AUG was so much better in game, okay? Like I say, you can understand if a weapon has a bigger caliber bullet, although there is still some myth and legend around the beliefs that bigger is always better. It's not always, but the fact these weapons were almost identical in the same of muzzle velocity, caliber size and things like that, I never understood why it had so much more damage output. So, the AUG taking a 10% nerf isn't the worst thing in the world. It means that you're going to be able to use the likes of your MP5 and the newly introduced PP19 when it comes out, and other SMGs more effectively. You know, it just means they're kind of trying to change up the meta of the game rather than one weapon sitting at the top, which is really cool, okay? I just hope they don't then start dropping all the other weapons as well, so that it becomes top again, you know, kind of doing a Bungie type thing. We nerf one thing, we nerf the rest. I hope that they take the AUG down enough that it then falls in line with all the other SMGs and they leave it put, okay? Because I don't think SMGs overall are in a bad place. It was just the fact the AUG for some reason was so much better that we never really used anything else. So it's nice to see that's changing. The Vector is also taking a 10% damage nerf. Now this bit kind of baffles me, okay? When we look at SMGs as a whole, we know that the AUG was at the top. We know that the MP5 followed second behind, and the Vector actually sat at the bottom of the tree for being best, okay? It had the lowest damage, it had the smallest magazine, meaning you were spending more time reloading than you did shooting. So I don't understand why, when the Vector has such a low damage output anyway, they're nerfing it by 10%. Because it still means the likes of the AUG and the MP5 are going to sit at the top, and the Vector's going to sit a lot further down and still not really find its place, which is weird because I love my Vector. I still got my 163 gear score Vector that has God rolls on it. I would like to use it again, but it doesn't look as if that is actually going to happen, and that's pretty sad. I don't know what you think about these guys. Let me know in the comment section down below. Like I say, excited for the AUG one, means it's going to balance a bit more, not so much about the Vector. Let's move on then to one thing I know a lot of people are going to be talking about after today's state of the game, and that is the nerf to sentries and striker gear sets. Now, you guys will know I have full striker gear. Okay, I've got at least 2 or 3 pieces of Striker's gear set for each slot, you know, chest, knees. I think the only thing I've got one of is a holster now, okay, because I like swapping them out for different things. I love my Striker's gear set having that damage increase. They are, however, going to be changing it. What they're going to do is implement a 5th gear set bonus. So we all know at the moment you have a 2 set bonus, a 3 set bonus, and a 4 set bonus. Well, the way it appears at the moment, and obviously we need to wait for exactly how it's going to come out to see how much of an impact it's going to have, but what they have said is they are going to take some of the 2-piece and 3-piece and 4-piece kind of buffs, and they're going to include them into a 5-piece set. Now, overall, I suppose it isn't the worst, okay? We know that the Strikers and the Sentries specifically, because that was very bugged until recently, but we know that they really were the kind of DPS gear sets to go for, and it meant people weren't trying other things out. So you can see why they want to change them, because they want people to try their gear sets. They're putting a lot of hard work into designing them. They want people to use them. That's perfectly acceptable and understandable. However, I don't get why they're singling out the Sentries and the Strikers gear. When you look at the newly formed Tankticians build and things like that, although they have said it's something they're aware of and they're going to keep an eye on, it's not getting any changes yet. So the 1.2 update came out and it brought in toughness, okay, and that made a massive change to everyone that had a DPS build, okay. Pre 1.2, 1.1 update, I had about 220,000 DPS, and I only had 77,000 health, just enough health that meant I didn't get one-shotted by enemy in the PvE or PvP, right? And I had good DPS. I could melt people very, very quickly. My DPS didn't change too much coming into 1.2. However, when I first went into the Dark Zone, I just noticed straight away that my damage was nowhere near the output that it was before, and that was because of the way they've kind of tweaked this new toughness with armor and exotic damage resilience and everything like that. And I think, to be honest, they've kind of just destroyed all possibility of going for a DPS build now, okay? The only 2 full-on DPS builds we have are taking a nerf. I'm not over keen on it. I understand why they've done it, but I'm not happy about it. What do you think about it down below, guys? Do you think it's a bit of an unfair shot at the Sentries and the Strikers gear? I mean, let's be honest, with the new gear sets coming out, new gear scores and things like that, people were going to try new things anyway if they wanted to hit the new gear score cap and then take part in the new kind of end game activities that required a higher gear score. So people would naturally have found their way to move from Strikers and Sentries into the new stuff. I think some of the new gear sets have the potential for some good DPS builds, don't get me wrong, but I think there would have been a natural step away from Strikers and Sentries without the kind of nerf they're coming. Again though, obviously we're going to have to wait to see the specifics and what the 5-piece set bonus would be and how the 1 and 2 piece kind of swap things up. I've personally found my new gear setup being 2, 2 and 2, and it works quite nicely. If you guys haven't seen that video, it will obviously be at the end, so you can go and check that out. But I'm running 2 final measure, 2 Strikers and 2 Sentries. Actually works really, really nice. Gives me good DPS, good toughness. I like it. I don't know what I'm going to swap out for. Having looked at the new gear sets, they all look very, very good. I have my eye on the Fire Crest and the Blind gear, so we'll have to see how that goes. But anyway, I'm digressing, guys. Let's move on to the special ammo nerf then. The numbers they actually used when talking was 75% effectiveness reduced. Okay, so that is overall what the special ammo nerf is going to be. The burn effects, what they're actually doing with that is they're going to take the 30% like burn resistance down. So, you know, you have X amount of time now where you burn when hit with the incendiary bullet. That's going to last 30% less time with the 1.3 update. That's pretty cool. We all know that when it came to a firefight, especially in the player versus player, if someone hit you with incendiary bullets, you couldn't do damage back to them. It was just about the fact that if they had more health than you, they could put more damage on you while you were burning. You just couldn't do enough damage to them after the burn effect had stopped to win the firefight. So the fact they're reducing it, I really like that. Okay, happy that that is coming in. Also means they don't need to nerf the Fire Crest. That was something that was talked about quite a bit as to how overpowered it would be given people, you know, 6 incendiary bullets, 6 explosive bullets and things like that. The fact they're nerfing it means they don't have to worry about actually nerfing the gear set itself. Explosive bullets then are also taking a bit of a nerf, where before you would kind of hit a shot with explosive rounds and you would get a damage number of X amount, and then you would get a secondary explosion, you know, 2, 3, 4 times the amount of the actual shot, meaning that things like the custom M44 could one-shot people with explosive rounds on. That's not going to happen anymore, guys, okay? There's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange. So whatever the damage is from the bullet, that is what the explosion will read. Obviously, that will change depending on your personal build, whether you hit a crit shot or not, whether you have higher crit damage, what your DPS is and things like that. So there's so much that could still change that number, but overall, it is a nerf. It should make a lot of people happy. It should move away from the rogue players running around with the custom M44s, using explosive rounds, dropping people instantly, so that you've got no time to react to it. I definitely think that is a pretty good nerf. Overall, guys, that is everything confirmed nerf-wise, okay, in the update coming our way on the 28th. Not too long to go now, so let me know what you think about it in the comment section down below. Overall, I can accept that it all needs to come in to some degree. Not happy about some bits, more happy about other bits. But yeah, guys, let me know down below. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, because there are plenty more Division videos coming your way. And as always, agents, thank you very much for watching. Until the next video, I'll catch you all soon.